Maserati Neesh here, and guess what? I'm bringing some realness to you guys. I am bringing some rawness. We're talking about finances. We're talking about real life issues. We're talking about the things that people are not talking about within our community. And I am so excited to be bringing y'all Neesh Speaks. And I brought a few people with me today. Actually, 6 of my favorite people, kings that is. I brought Ernest Stanton.
Ernest Stanton, tax accountant, business consultant. I am a black man in America.
Dr. Craig Smith, CEO and founder of Fostering Success Boys and Men, higher ed administrator, and I am a proud black man in America.
You already know who it is. It's RW. I've got cars, Car Life Auto, car dealership, black man in America, and I am an owner.
Got Drew here, the CEO of DaVita Care, home care provider here in the Philadelphia area, and I am a black man living in America.
Chip, Playboy Fresh, entertainment, all things entertainment. I'm a black man in America.
I'm Tariq Banks. I'm the founder of restaurant food truck business, The Burger Bank. Also the co-owner of independent record company, Forever Music Records. And I am a black man in America.
Yes. So I chose the 6 of you guys for a few different reasons. One of the reasons are I really admire you all. Individually, and what your contribution is to the community. I think that all of you guys have a very, very strong presence, and I feel like your story needs to be heard. A lot of the things that I hear, most of my friends are males, and a lot of the things that I hear from black men specifically is that it is very hard in America for a black man. But I feel like when you say that, women and everybody else on the other side of that cannot relate, because we don't know what you go through daily. I know what I go through as a black woman, and I have some of my own challenges, but what is it like ultimately for a black man in America, and what are some of the challenges that you face daily? I know, a lot of us sitting at this table are entrepreneurs, and we run very successful businesses. And even with that, it has been a journey. There were some things that you encountered. Maybe you tried to get funding and you didn't pass the application process because you were a black man. Had you been a white man, you may have got approved for the funding. So I just want you to tell your stories authentically, what it is like and the challenges that you have faced in America being a black man. And we can start with you, Ernest, and we'll just work around.
Well, the first thing I want to talk about is me being an accountant, owning my own accounting practice. Is I'm in a corporate America setting, and as a black man in corporate America, obviously, they don't really want us in there. And it's always been challenging for me because I'm in an arena where the white man has been successful for over 100 years. Most you normally see accountants, you think of a white man in a suit and so forth. It's always been challenging because I'm going in the banks trying to get loans, and they're looking at me and they're saying, you run your own accounting practice? Yes. You have employees? Yes. I'm trying to get funding. Oh, well, we need X, Y, and Z. Well, maybe I don't have X, Y, and Z. Why is it that you need all of these different things from me, but I feel like what
would be some of the X, Y, and Z?
Well, they when you go into certain banks, when I first started my business 10 years ago, they're not just asking for your social and paperwork. They want to know, where's your business located? How long have you been in business? What credentials do you have? They ask about your degree. I'm like, why is the bank asking me about my credentials? In the sense of, I'm showing you my credit. My credit is good. I'm showing you that I have a bank account. I have money in the bank. Why are you going to the furthest extent of asking me all these questions to make sure that I'm going to do right with the money? Sometimes I feel some banks are discriminatory on black men when you're trying to get ahead, especially when I started 10 years ago.
So I have a question. My question is for you, Reef. So we actually were sitting at the closing table together, which was a hell of a goddamn experience because we were totally racially profiled. And I'm like, this white man is talking to us like we knew to this. This is what we do. We're bosses. So we were doing a deal. I was the middleman. I actually was the wholesaler for this deal. Sharif was selling a property. He said, listen, I'm trying to get rid of this property. Boom, boom, boom. I posted on Instagram, and instantly Andrew DM'd me. And he was like, I want it. Don't take it down. I'm getting it. So make a long story very short, we go to the title company. We walk in the title company. Sharif has some tattoos. Where are they? Oh, right here.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. And then Andrew comes in, with his bougie scarf with the sweatpants very calm back. And then that particular day, I so happened to be dressed, so I was in my fabulousness. So we come in, and this white man is talking to us like we're new to this. And it was very offensive. And once we all peeped it, we start talking heavy. Reef like, yeah, because I'm about to put 10, 20 more cars on the lot. And then Andrew said, yeah, because, you know, we did like 2.5 mil, such and such. So we all start talking heavy. And I'm like, yeah, so my other house is here. So I didn't decide what I was going to do. I was thinking about maybe flipping it and putting so when I tell you that this white man's energy shift, it changed in 2.5 seconds. Reef talking about, boy. we just started breaking up. So Andrew started getting a little antsy, a little aggravated. He was like, well, I done been at the closing table a million times, and I know that. So he started trying to discourage us, I felt like, in that moment. Like, well, I wouldn't move forward if you don't have an accurate reading on the meter and blah, 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 blah. Reef was like, listen, Neesh, just take this 3,000, hold it. If anything come up, give it to Andrew. If nothing don't come up, we rocking and rolling. So the man tried to prevent us from closing that deal that day, actually. So we went downstairs, and Andrew he like, Neesh, I want you to come see my new car, brand new Bentley. So I walk outside, and Reef is like, man, I could sell the house now. I just want to get rid of it. I ain't got time. Listen, this is what we could do. So we outside talking. I'm sitting in Andrew's car. Reef is like, listen, I just give y'all the money. Y'all hold it, escrow, whatever y'all want to do. The man comes downstairs, the owner of the title company. He's like, excuse me. So he see us in big boy style at this point. So he comes downstairs and he's like, if you guys want to come in, yeah, you can come in. Yeah, so Reef like, man, Reef done called the other title company. He like, listen, I don't like dealing with that guy. He's an a-hole, woo, woo. You go in there, y'all can get the deal done. He's just BSing. So make a long story short, we go back upstairs getting the deal done. He's like, so we're all good, right? We're friends. We're friends. Everybody's cool. We're happy. We're like, dude, we ain't messing with you no more. Get out of here. So for me, he was judging us from the rip. So what is that like? How did that make you feel as a black man in America, as a successful black man in America?
Yeah, might you add, from the back block to the car lot, I pride myself in that. I open on my Instagram videos, everybody know, I be like, RWF got cars from the back block to the car lot. So when you get judged like that, especially, and it's two doubles on me because I'm Muslim and I'm black. So we get looked at harsher than just being black in America. You gotta talk about being black and Muslim in America. Because you remember when 9/11 happened, it was Muslims that was getting attacked and actually terrorized from American citizens, quote unquote, white supremacists. And we're gonna keep it 100. They was looking at Muslims bad, and a lot of Muslims in our community is what? They're black. So me going in places with my Muslim garment on, with a big prostration on my head and tattoos is like, all right, what is this white guy gonna judge me? Or how are you gonna look at me today? Me, personally, I don't care. My credit good like yours.
That's why
my
you don't
bank
care.
account like
That's why
yours.
you don't care. That's why you don't care.
I don't care.
Right.
Because you successful, okay, I'm successful. And a company you working for, I can own your company.
One of the things
but I don't take that like I'm not being prideful, I'm not being arrogant, because the whole time we was humble.
Right.
It's like he brought that out of us.
Yes,
like,
he did.
It's
Yes,
like
he
he
did.
just kept until we to the point we was like, yo, I got this American Express Business Platinum card. You threw a couple cards on the table.
We started talking real heavy. We was talking so heavy, I'm telling you.
Because it's like you judging me, you critiquing me from stuff that don't even have nothing to do with you.
So it's funny that you said the appearance in terms of the black man, but a Muslim man. So Tariq is Muslim. I had a conversation with my boyfriend, I think it was probably like a week ago, and we were talking about how he says when he's downtown, because he dresses up very corporate attire daily. He said when he's downtown, he has his briefcase, he's all dressed up to the booty. He said a lot of white people like, oh my God, what do you do? What do you do? What you going on? And the conversation, they don't feel threatened. He said, but if I'm walking down there and I have on my gym clothes, whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. So where do you think that comes from? If you have a beard, are you more threatened to, Caucasians or people outside of our race? What is that? How does that?
I truly believe it comes from like he spoke on the history with the religion in itself, and honestly. And I love my religion, and I pray 5 times a day. But honestly, we're represented from some of our own people in a negative way, and then we're also stereotyped in that negative way. Meaning, if you looking from the outside looking in, and you guys, you might see it on movies where it's like Muslims are killing each other, and they're saying they're doing this in the name of Allah, and they're doing it, and it's called jihad, and that's what they're doing, and it's not true. It's literally not true. Like them getting on a plane and killing everybody on a plane, you didn't do that in the name of Allah. Someone brainwashed you.
Muslims don't do that.
And you went crazy.
But the thing is, that's what was captured on TV.
Right.
So that's what people were seeing. So now they're judging.
That's what we're judged from. And our religion honestly represents peace, tranquility, respect. That's what it represents. But you know, like I said, when people look at everything that's built around it, and in today's society, and I think probably for hundreds of years, people gravitate to negativity.
Absolutely.
And they'll run with that. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? And they run with that. So I think that's a big thing, because it's, you know, you'll hear it, and I mean, I love all people. I have friends that's white. You get what I'm saying? But I understand the topic, and I think it is important, because sometimes we even have to move differently, and you realize, like, am I moving differently? Because you don't want to. You want to be your authentic self. But I feel like, you know, you might have a white person say, hey, he's Muslim. You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand the religion, and they don't understand what it stands for. So they're ignorant to the fact, and then we get the backlash because of it. I mean, literally, when I travel, because of my name and because of maybe my beard, but I'm like,
why is the
every other
beard
time
such
I traveled,
a big deal, though?
I was pulled to the back.
Why is the beard such a big deal?
I think because it's just this is a white man's world.
But I see white men with beards.
Well, see,
So why is it like
the beard in our religion represents, so we our prophet is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we're supposed to carry ourselves. You know, if you want to perfect your religion, you carry yourself the closest possible that you can imitate in the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so when we wear these beards, I think they look, hey, you know, that's those Muslims.
But it's even like other religious groups, men that have beards. It could be a Christian with a beard. It really doesn't. I just think it's the beard thing. Why is that such a threat as a black man? The beard thing. You don't think it's the
right?
beard?
Because you get stars. You got
NBA.
You got NBA stars whose beard is huge, but since you're an NBA star, you instantly are looked at in a positive light.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So I think it depends. I think it's like a case-to-case basis, and I think the religion itself that puts us, you know,
Definitely.
that puts us judged before the person is even known.
Right.
Okay. So, how strong of an influence do you think the black man has on the overall African American culture? How strong is your influence in our community? And I'll let you answer that, Joe.
Well, I think as far as men, our influence is the most important. Men, I feel like as black men, we are just naturally like survivors. We're just naturally strong. We're, you know, and I always say to like my friends who, you know, still hustle, I say like, you know, you have like this natural gift, even if you think like you're just a drug dealer, person to be able to do something, even though society look at it as so bad. You have to manage your product, you have to sell it, you know, you have to get somebody to test it, you know, you have to make sure you have the money to flip it. You're running a business, and that's a black man, like, you know, and that's what we resort to as like our all-time bottom, is running a business and working for ourselves, you know, and that right there shows so much strength that we as black men don't even see, because I bet some of y'all probably never even looked at it that way and thought like, that's really a skill. Like, you know, just anybody can't do it.
I was leaving out the barbershop, and there was a kid I knew, right? I knew his mom, right? And this was a few weeks ago, and I knew his mom all my life, and I seen him out there, and I just was looking, I see him for months. He's just sitting out there, but I know what he's doing, you know what I mean? And I rolled the window down to him, because that's the way, what you're saying is exactly how I felt. I said, yo, I rolled the window down, I said, yo, you know you have the heart to be out here, you know it comes with this, from the street.
I'm glad that you said that.
Seriously, from the street, from law enforcement, everything, and you have the will and commitment to sit out here. Do you know you're already an entrepreneur, and you're already in a position to build something great if you can step away from this here? And I did it without even telling him, yo, you're selling drugs. I just told him, I see you. I see you. Everybody else see you because you're on this stool all the time. Like, if you thought different, you would help my business grow. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, you can grow your own. You know what I'm saying? And I told his mom when I seen her, I told her that, you know, because if you could take that step, then would it get the bank telling you, no, you're out there risking being shot.
Right.
Going to jail, losing your family. So bank tell you no, an investor tell you no. You can still stand tall and still use your work ethic and your heart, and your integrity to do something positive.
So let me ask you this:
It's a
what
good breakdown.
was your transition, Reef and Reek? I know a little of your history. What was your transition like from being in the streets to now I'm going to become an entrepreneur? What was that aha moment? What was that awakening moment? And how did you transition? Because I don't think that a lot of the guys don't want to
That's
transition.
really important.
You know what I'm saying?
Both of those questions.
I don't think that they do not. I don't want to be like a retired drug dealer. Like, I don't think that that's their goal ultimately. But I feel like they don't have an outlet. I don't even want to say they don't have the resources because there's so many of us now. But how did you do that? How did y'all transition?
Well,
So,
no, you might. Oh,
sure.
really.
Okay, so I know with me, right, and it's funny because years on, like I'm talking in my 20s, I remember like it's yesterday, it always stick to me, right? A gentleman put up on me, a little older guy, he pulled up and he, I was in the street. And I honestly, and I never, you gotta be talking, because I've never talked about my past in this kind of way. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. So like how I am now in business was how I was in the streets in my 20s. I mean, from corner to corner, from where you at, I mean, from shifts to knowing my numbers, to knowing everything I was doing, right? But everyone from my neighborhood.
Which I have to add, you're a dope businessman.
Thank you, I appreciate
Dope
that.
ass businessman. Dope.
But everyone paid, like everyone knew it, you know what I mean? But the positive thing was they're helping everybody, helping the neighbors, doing stuff for the community. So no one really the community didn't pull me down about it. So the gentleman pulled up, he rolled down the window. He said, "Hey, Brown," he said, "I just want you to know," he said, "I've never seen," and he was from the street. He said, "The way these young boys follow you," I mean, I would come around with 1 million young boys, like wherever I was at.
Wow.
He's like, "The way these young boys follow you, I've never seen that kind of influence." He like, "One day, you need to flip that and do something positive with that," right? He always said that. He like, and that set with me then. Like, I'm trying to feed your family, but it set with me. It was like, yo, like you know how to touch people. You know what I mean? You know how to touch people. So I didn't make that transition then. It didn't stick with me in a way of like, oh, let me just change my life, get rid of all this money. But later on, fast forward to opening up a gym and then, growing it and managing a whole bunch of staff and a whole bunch of clients. What he said started coming back to me.
Come on,
because
that's
I started realizing
that's the word.
like I used to teach my staff about client retention, and I'd be like, yo, this is how I kept my street team.
Right.
I'm keeping my staff the same way I kept my street team. So it's in me.
Was it the first thing that you did outside of hustling or whatever, was that the first transition?
Yeah, but it's so deep because you know what I went through personally. You see what people try to do to me online.
Right.
So it's, I don't know if we could talk here.
Yes, we can.
So
Let's talk about
I'm
it.
just saying because of the issue. But it literally, I was in music, and it was like, I was in it heavy. We traveling the world. We was dealing with some of the same people. And then I was in the street the whole time. But when I finally was tired, I actually started working in mental health. Yeah, and my friends.
9 to 5.
Yeah, my friends left first. So a couple of my friends who was in the street with me was working there. So one was a supervisor. I'm like, I'll try it. And I fell in love with it so much that I started to take courses in college for it to try to enhance myself there. And the kids loved me. Then they knew me through music. And then, and fast forward, and I don't know, I think Ern probably know, but I ended up actually getting arrested and charged for a sexual crime. One of my kids saying we had inappropriate, and these were sick kids. And
I already know because I worked with some.
It took my life completely to where
a low place.
Yeah, a low place. I spent 2 years in prison. So yeah. And a lot of people some people knew. At first I was still talking about it in my music. I said I gotta let it go. But so that was before training. But even when I was away, it still wasn't about training. I was mad the whole first year. I was supposed to be here because I was bitter.
Absolutely.
So then I would start praying. I started praying more. You got to find a reason why you're here. You have to find a reason. So when I came home and was running around with my wife and stuff like that, trying to figure things out. I still wasn't a trainer, but I was super, super heavy. I'm gaining weight now, messing with the restaurant. But I was super heavy because I came home completely in shape, and I still get in shape every now and again. But I came home and we were running around, and I was I don't know what I really want to do. I learned how to get in shape. I got my homies in shape. I didn't want to do that. So I kind of feel like my adversity started to shine on where I was going.
But let me ask you this. did you transitioning from that and then getting into the fitness industry? Did you become passionate about that?
That's the thing, and that's how it happened. Like some people thought, like, hey, he got certified while he was in prison. You know how people come home and be trainers. It was never about that. Like my dad wrote me, said, yo, I'm type 1 diabetic. He like, you diabetic and you have asthma. I've been away
I know
before.
you got asthma bad.
Yeah, he said, I've been away before. Take care of yourself. If you don't, you be on that gurney somewhere taking 30 minutes to come get you. It scared me shitless. It scared me. So I said, okay, cool. I'm running every day. Now I'm studying. They sending me stuff. The game is on. My cellies are mad at me because I'm watching Dr. Oz. He like, yo, he's really not going to change the channel. Like I literally was studying everything. Nigga, my mom sent me books. Like that's how it was when I came home. I started chasing the music again. I started chasing the music. But I was in the gym training people. I mean, like my friends. And some girls asked me about it. Hey, would you train us? I went and got my wife permission. Like, and it kind of started to come. Yeah, I said, yo, would you be okay with that? And then all
Would
of a
you be
sudden,
okay with me stretching and training?
Right.
What's going
So
on?
a couple weeks in, she's like, where you going? I'm like, I'm going to work. I already got a full list of clients. And I seen it from there because I loved it. I love to do it for myself.
Passion.
So when I started seeing other people getting results, I was really excited. Then I went to school. Actually, out here, I went to community, got certified, and was studying nutrition and stuff like that. But I say that to make it short, the hardship I dealt with, I mean, and I still deal with, like people will play around, they see me building, so every now and again they say, hey, you know he was locked up for this? Yo, this was 12 years ago, and everything that was said about me actually wasn't true, or just look my damn charges up. But like I said, people gravitate to negativity and try to pull you down. So I knew it. I was trying to work for like I was looking at it, and that's why my wife was attracted to me though. I'm looking at trash truck, writing that down. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going,
figure it out.
but everybody's telling me no. So when I sit back now and say, if I wouldn't have got those no's, I probably wouldn't have started my own business. I wouldn't have taken my own risk. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have jumped out there and did what I'm actually good at. You know what I mean?
So speaking of that, so there are several entrepreneurs at the table, right? And even Brian in the beginning, Brahim said, y'all inspiring me. I want to, do my thing too. What inspired you to get into the industry that you are in? And are you passionate about it? Does it make you happy? Because I really love what I'm doing. I love this credit thing and educating my community and teaching team credit workshops and educating entrepreneurs and helping them get funded. Like I live, sleep, and eat. And I think that's one of the reasons that I'm extremely blessed because I really love it.
I'm doing it
it's genuine with me. It's authentic. So what led you into the industry?
Well, I started because my cousin started his business in his basement. And I always looked up to my cousin. He was like, you know how some people look up to Jay-Z, or he was always like that father figure that I always had in my life. And he said, Drew, come on, I'm starting this business. Anything he would do. If he was going into a volcano, I was a few feet behind him.
That's dope.
So he started this business. I started, him and his wife in the basement. That business turned out to be very successful. Now, unfortunately, as far as my position in the business, it wasn't in the cards. So we had to part ways. But I always had that drive that he installed in me, and it kind of like made me want more. I seen him do some of the best things you can do in life, have some of those things. So it made me feel like I want to have those things. So I figured out exactly what it was that I wanted to do. And also in my business, I get to help people. I get to go in people's homes and they have nothing. They have nobody to take care of them. They can't feed themselves. They can't wipe their own, behind. And I get to come in and help and make sure that they get the services that they need while possibly, supplying a job for one of their family members or something like that. So that gratification that I get, from seeing, like, I'm really changing somebody's life, I'm sure we're all entrepreneurs, but, we may live a pretty decent lifestyle now, but, there was one point in time,
Talk about
$500 a week,
Talk about where you couldn't pay yourself.
That was like, that was a lot of money. We would do anything to be able to have a steady income of that, much into our house. So, that for me, that gratification of being able to be, financially stable and be able to help people is what led me into, the field that I'm in.
Okay.
As I'm sitting here, right, and I'm listening to everybody. What's up, man? Quick change. As I'm listening to everybody's story and what you guys do, like I'm kind of like on the flip side of that, right? So I am, I'm trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? But in the midst of me trying to figure it out, I know where I'm going to end up. You know what I mean? I know what the vision is, and I know where my path is. I'm just trying to get there. So, you know, I guess I'm still in the transition of becoming like you guys. You know what I mean?
We all been through that transition,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
figuring it out stage.
So that's
Yes, the figuring it out stage.
Yeah.
Yes, Craig.
So you say you on the opposite side.
Yeah.
I'm in education.
Okay.
So when you have conversation about black men in education, the conversation just doesn't happen. So my primary career profession, I provide access and opportunity to people that look like me, right? But working in higher education as a black male that makes up part of that 1% of African Americans who hold a doctoral degree, you still got to work 3 times as hard. You got to go above and beyond the call of duty. I got to show up early, work through lunch. I got to jump through all these hoops to prove myself and allow my work to actually speak for itself. But when you think about who's not excelling in higher education, it's us. So when you start having that conversation and entering education into the dialogue, it changes the dynamic. I'm also an entrepreneur. I have multiple streams of income, but I always go back to the fact that I didn't become a doctor to make money, because Pop taught us how to make money, right? I was making money before I even earned. I was actually making more money without the degree than I am with the actual degree in my current position. But more so of the impact and the difference, right? And being in a position where you can reach to rescue, you can teach to transform, and you can actually impact people's lives for purpose. And using education as the actual platform for doing it. We cannot take education out of the conversation, right? We need to teach our young people, and I was at your session last weekend, about the importance of credit, about the importance of all of these things.
So when you say education, you're not just specifically referring to
College.
not in
college setting or
education.
I'm
okay.
just talking about education,
Just
in
learning,
general. But
yes.
But I work in a higher educational institution. I work at a community college,
Right.
You don't necessarily have to pursue a degree. You can go and become a notary. You can become a
Right.
signing agent.
Right.
You can take real estate classes, all of which I'm
But I
actually
think
doing on the
nobody
side as
actually
well.
talks about that though.
They don't.
They're just selling education, and I know because I encounter so many teens and so many youth during these sessions, and college is forced upon them because black people think that that's the only outlet. If you come from a poverty-stricken, area or environment, they feel like, oh, you got to go to college because which they don't even know. Like 85 to 90% of my clients are struggling to pay their student loan debt.
I wanted to chime in on that. As the reason why I'm where I'm at is, number one, the doors were shut in my face several times. I followed the traditional track. All my cousins, my brother, rest in peace, everybody hustled. Everybody was from the street. Everybody. So growing up, I used to tell all my cousins, I'm gonna be the lawyer. Y'all gonna need me, I'm gonna get all y'all gonna need me. So that was the plan. I was gonna finish undergrad. I was gonna go to law school. Then I had a son, and my uncle that, he studied law for a period of time. He said, listen, studying law can be very challenging. You about to have a son. You very committed. I don't know how that's gonna go, but if you want to do it, I support you. But just know that path, law degree, is a dark path. Like, you're gonna really have to cut off everybody. So I ended up saying, no, I'm not gonna get my law degree, I'm gonna go get my MBA. So I got my undergrad, following the white man's path, saying, look, go get your degree, get your corporate job, I'm gonna be making 6 figures, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna have a big house. That wasn't the case. I got the college degree, went and got a second degree, making $80,000 a year at a bank, and I keep applying for different jobs, and I'm not getting accepted. I go to interviews, they take me to the first.
Let me ask you something real quick in the midst of that. So as you were in corporate America, do you feel like corporate America allows black men to go to the next level?
They
in corporate America?
only do if you're willing
Absolutely
to.
not.
Assimilate.
No,
Absolutely.
listen. Let me tell you. So being in the
I
banking
wanna hear
system,
your-
being in the banking system, you can move up in corporate America as a black man, but there comes the uncle time. Yeah, you're gonna shave your beard off. You're gonna wear
So you
certain
gotta
type.
conform.
So one day, I was out shopping with my father,
The
and I was
uncle
picking
time.
up a certain tie and a certain. So my dad said, "That's not how you dress." He said, "They got you changing how you dress now?" I said, "No, Dad, but I'm trying to move up." He said, "Don't ever discount who you are to move up.
Wow.
If you got to discount who you are to move up, what's going to happen when you move up? They going to be able to know that that's not the real you."
Wow.
So, trust in corporate America, I didn't have a beard, shaving my beard, getting bumps and all that, trying to fit the corporate structure. But some do move up, but they kiss a lot of ass, and they try to look like somebody they're not. But then when they get all the way up,
But
they
that even
realize,
has to be a struggle.
oh, it's a struggle.
Because it's like at that point, who do you identify yourself with? Who do you identify yourself with as a black man? Let's talk about that. Who do you identify? Who? If I asked you, who are you? What would you tell me? Who are you, Rob?
I'm fly as shit.
How we define the fly?
Who are you?
Too, it goes with confidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
So confidence is taught as a kid. That's why my mom always built that in me. So I can go in any room and I'm confident. I don't care if it's millionaires in there. I'm gonna go in there with confidence. My head's gonna be up. I'm not gonna walk in there with my head down. So that's it. You know, you gotta have that confidence.
The biggest problem for me with corporate America was, and I think a lot of us as black men, we have this problem is we go into this corporate setting, whether we have these credentials or not, but we don't know how to conduct ourselves because we are different. As black people, we think and function differently than white people. So we don't understand why they do certain things or, you know, and it's not like it's a us and them because I don't believe in that us and them.
Yeah.
It's just that we are only white people we interact with is the mailman is not even white. A police officer,
That's true though.
a teacher, the principal is a superior. So when we go into that, you know, that corporate America, we're not normalized to being around white people. We don't have white friends.
That's so true.
We don't go to white, you know,
Functions.
situations as far as their events and stuff. So we don't know, you know. And white people don't know us. They don't know what a repass is.
Oh no! They do
You get
know.
what I mean?
They know us.
They know us from what they see on the news.
Well, yeah, and the target and all that
On the
stuff.
news,
So that's
absolutely.
his perception.
But guess
That's a whole
what?
different
That's
scenario.
that's
That's
what
basically.
they
But listen, Drew said they don't know, so they don't know. So if the only images that you're seeing of black people is on the news,
Black
and they
men
painting this
specifically.
specifically, sorry, yes, then that's what you're going. That is going to be your interpretation of the black man. That is going to be what you see or how you see the black man, which explains why you're walking past an older white woman and she grabs her purse.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't ultimately know how that feel, but I know that gotta make you feel shameful in some instance. Like, damn, I'm not a thief.
I live in a more upscale like community. You know, it's a lot of more. I live in a more upscale community. The price is kind of, you know, a little higher up. So what happens is you tend to have a more older type of person in the community because those are normally the type of people that can afford to live there, like the people later in life. So now I have a Bentley. I'm like the youngest black guy in my community. Now, I specifically have this one apartment. I have the only apartment in my community that is the apartment that I have. It's like the largest. It is the best apartment in the community. And you know, people know that, you know, because, you know, the people will talk. Now, there's this one specific lady. She tells everybody that I'm a drug dealer.
No, she don't.
And my thing is, you know, she tells like several people this, and I'm kind of handling this in a separate manner outside of this. But
Sue for
it's
defamation
like,
of character.
you know, why because I'm black and I drive a Bentley, do I have to be a drug dealer or
Because you're short, so you
do I have to play sports? You know, like I can't be, you know, just a smart black guy. You know, I can't be into tech. I can't be a real estate guru. You know, a car guru. You know, I'm just something like it's just associated with something negative because of what you see on TV.
But now, can I add to that too? So,
Yes.
I mean, now you open up the channel. It's not even a challenge, but you just open up the door to new money versus old money, right? So when you live in more affluent neighborhoods or communities, you show up in a certain way if you're new money versus old money. So I lived in, when I lived in Dobson Mills, when they first put up Dobson Mills, and it was pretty affluent and kind of wasn't as brown as it is now. I encountered neighbors who was trying to figure out how could I afford to actually
That's
be here.
crazy.
Right?
That's
So they look at
crazy.
you, they size you up, and they kind of put a stigma on you based off of media's perception, or just based off of, and you can affirm or disaffirm their perception of who you are based off of how you show up confidently and articulate yourself.
But I done got to
and
the point
change
where I
the
ain't
game.
proving shit
See,
to
what I
y'all
like,
jokers.
what I
I'm
like,
coming in
let me
there.
speak on something that y'all have with the car situation, right? What I feel like with the white man now, I like to level up. Like if I'm an accountant, but when I go buy it, when I go get the Escalade, I'll get the Benz. I'm gonna dress with the. I'm gonna dress like this
Cause I want you to judge me.
think, and then I'm gonna give you my card, and you gonna Google me, and you gonna look it up. And you like, damn. You gonna say, man, oh, he really a big deal. It's out. Like, no, I'm not gonna come in a suit to prove to you that I'm a professional. My clients and my associates that see me doing my work will see that. I come dressed down with the Timbs on, with my business, and I articulate myself. You don't never discount you articulate yourself. You do gotta sound educated. You know, you ain't gotta sound like no good, but you don't gotta look a certain way. But they'll look at you like, you trying to get this? Yes. Or you trying to buy this house?
But guess what though? Y'all can do that because y'all successful already.
But
Y'all
that's
ain't got to
another
kiss
thing.
nobody, but
That goes back to
we
education.
call the shots. We both.
No, you're right. That's
So
the
it's a
advantage.
different
That's the
ballgame.
advantage.
It's a
That's the
different
advantage.
That
ballgame.
goes back to education, like what Craig said. You gotta know how to articulate.
You gotta know how to articulate yourself.
Yeah.
That's
you
one thing I
You
like
go
to
in
tell
here
them.
dressed down, but you still
You
got
got to
But
articulate
when you open
yourself.
your mouth, is definitely something different.
It's always gonna be
Yeah,
something.
and they judging you off that.
And what
You
I-
better know. You better get your
gotta-
work.
Speaking of
What you
corporate America,
talking
that's
about?
why when I got out of college, I didn't go in corporate America because I'm like, I'm not gonna downplay. I could have got a job at Enterprise, but they wanted me to transform. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not cutting my
you had to
beard.
cut that
Exactly.
beard off. Oh, they
Yeah.
offered me the same
Yeah. I
position
said,
when I
I'm
got
not
out of
cut my-
school.
I'm not cut my beard.
Cut my beard? Like I can't trim it down. No, cut it off. Like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
So
Just-
I said,
okay.
that was my route.
That's why we where we are and they where they are. They working for somebody and we working for ourselves because we didn't conform to their rules.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
cutting
admire
my
your
beard. I'm keeping my thoroughbone. I'm gonna keep my prostration mark. I'm gonna pray 5 times a day. And I'm still gonna pull up to the presidential in an X7. I just moved there. Got my wife a penthouse. Right. When we first moved there, I was in the wrong building. The lady said, "Oh, do you live here?"
Wow.
Oh, yes, I live
Wait.
here. And
Talk
a
about
recreational-
wait. Talk about that. How did that feel?
It's just like.
But how does that feel from an emotional
It's
standpoint?
like I
If
didn't-
somebody say, "Do you live here?"
I'm a
Like,
little rough around the edges, Neesh. Like so it kind of took like yeah, I live here. Like you can afford it, I can afford it too. Like just because I'm black, I'm young, I got tattoos. I'm not a drug dealer. Yeah, I did time in jail, but a lot of us did time in jail.
but does that affect y'all emotionally? Like, let's talk about it from an emotional standpoint. Like, if somebody like,
does, it
because I know
bothers me.
when things hurt me, if I don't talk about it or address it, it will eat me alive internally. Like, it will eat me alive.
My situation bothered me. It make me feel like I not want to live there. It's like I don't feel safe. You know, where I live is a small community. It's not too many black guys with a Bentley. So you have that conversation with somebody whose husband is a police officer. Now they profile me.
Now they
You
profile.
understand what I mean?
And they
When
building
somebody
the case,
think I'm
they
a
building
drug
the
dealer
case.
and now they breaking
And
into
the
my
minute you have
house.
a party, the night you have a big party or holiday
you just
something,
never know.
they
Like
in your
it
house.
really because those things are reality.
Lawyer up.
That's
Oh,
like
yeah.
two weeks ago, I got pulled over in Montgomery County, suited and booted. I'm driving a Lexus. So they say, he said, "You from around here?" No, he said, "What you doing around here?" I said, "I just dropped my son off at school." He said, "Okay." So I see him checking me out the whole time. He took my stuff. How about he gave me a ticket for $500?
For what?
For what?
For
Being
for
black?
No, for speaking.
For what? For being black?
For being black though. Because the whole time he was a young white guy, and I felt like he looked at me like, oh, he's doing good. He's doing good for
You're doing
himself.
better than
Just
me.
hate
Right.
you.
I
So
think
next thing you know, I didn't even know you could get a ticket. It was a speeding ticket, but I didn't know they can give you a ticket for $500.
$500. But see, like speaking of
They
that,
probably threw that out.
I want you.
Lawyer up.
Go ahead.
I think that in a solution like to that is doing what we doing now, talking about it, coming together as a whole, whether you Christian, Muslim, Jew, that don't even matter.
Right.
You come together to do something positive for the community because people look up to you. People look up to you. People look up to you. Like people look up to us in different ways, and we don't know the effect that we really can have on somebody's life. Like
That's
I was
true.
facing 20 to 40 years in jail. Like I want to live in 3.5 to 10. Cause when you transition, it's like you're getting told no. Like you was getting told no. You don't know which way to go. So you're getting told no, you don't know which way to go. Then you still around the same people. So transitioning is taking yourself away from this crowd, moving yourself to this crowd. But when you don't have a father figure or the education to get it done, you pretty much learning on the fly. So as I learned on the fly, I had my wife behind me. So my wife was really my motivation. like my inspiration. When I came home, I was still rough. Like I still wanted to be that thug, that typical black guy thing. That
You didn't want to be that.
Wait, no. I got to be.
You didn't want to be that.
Wait.
He was comfortable.
Wait,
That was all he knew. That was all he knew.
But it was easy to get right.
Wait. What's typical black guy? Because you just said 2 microaggressions. One.
Now, come on.
Doctor over here.
Listen, Doctor.
I know what you're saying, but this is just a good segue.
Right.
To
Yeah,
I mean, that's internalized
though. That's internalized.
It's his experience. But it's everybody. I was raised in the hood too.
Yeah.
So, and my brother, same mom, same pop, did 15. Right. So we just made different decisions and choices and all that other stuff. But everybody, it's just not typical. It wasn't typical. It's not typical for me. It might not be typical for Phil.
It was the norm.
But we have to change the dynamic because every black boy, it will change the narrative. We have to change the narrative because if we're being a right kind of example, then we can change the trajectory for who these kids are. So you come home and you still X, Y, and Z, and you have people, because we all have influence because we black kings.
Right.
So now what are we doing with that influence now changes the dynamic and can change the way that the villages actually go.
One thing I want to say real quick.
That's getting a little deep.
Listen, the black father is key.
Oh, I'm glad y'all said that. That was that.
He was
So
supposed to tell you.
that's the person. That's the person.
But if you don't have it, listen,
I wanted to touch on that.
But let me say what
I wanted to touch on that.
That's what ends up being a bunch of.
But that's what he said. That's what he said. He didn't have it, right?
Okay.
Like I want to.
All right, wait. We gonna hold that. Wait. Because we got a part 2 coming. We gonna hold that. We gonna talk about that. We gonna get into that. We about to get deep. I need y'all to tune in to the next episode, part 2 of what it is like being a black man in America. I love my guests. I thank you guys for being here. We're gonna come back with part 2, what it's like to be a black man in America. Neesh Speaks.
Yeah. Reef got cars.